So is all that hard work, cutting and splitting and cutting and splitting and carrying, and I mean, is it worth it? I've got a big pile of wood here that I need to get split. I've only got about half as much wood as I need for us to get through the winter without me having to run the furnace. And I do not want to have to run the furnace. It saves me a lot of money when I don't have to run the furnace. So I like those wood burning stoves to be working for me. That fire from wood just warms you to the bones. I hate just lukewarm air blowing on you, and it's never very warm. This just keeps you so warm, and we can have the temperature at whatever we want because we have just tons of wood. We can throw it in there, but I got to get it split, especially before it starts raining again. I got a lot to get going on. Let's see how much we can get done today. I just got through loading up all this wood into the bucket of the tractor and lifted it up just to find out that I've got a flat tire. So now I've either got to unload all this wood, drive back up there and air it up, or drag an air compressor out here with a generator and air it up, or I've got to run the risk of driving it the way it is and have the tire come off the rim. I don't like the sound of any of those options, so I don't know. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. This might be a bad idea, but I think I'm gonna roll with it and see what happens. There's a lot of things to take into consideration when trying to decide if a wood burning stove is right for you and your family. You know, you have some upfront cost, and you've got some equipment that you need and maintenance that you need to have done, especially on your chainsaws and your log splitters and your back. Woo. This chainsaw here needs just a little bit of attention. A little tightening, a little sharpening, and it'll be good to go. We'll be back in business. Back to cutting wood so we can get back to splitting wood so we can get back to burning wood. Let's get going. You gotta have a good, sharp chainsaw blade or you're gonna be wearing yourself out trying to cut your wood. Make sure it's sharp before you get going. You also wanna make sure you don't have too much slack in the chain. You don't want it to be too tight either, but you don't want it to be real loose. At the end of the day, if you can heat your home for virtually free once you've paid off your, kind of paid yourself back from your upfront expenses, is it worth it? Is it worth all the work? Is it worth all of the back-breaking work? Pick it up twice. It's more fun that way. For me, I save about $250 a month heating my home with wood. And that's not the only reason I do it though. We always had to keep our temperature lower because if we kept it where we were comfortable, then it was even more expensive and the heater felt like it was running all the time. And a lot of you may be in older homes that aren't insulated real well, or you may be in really cold parts of the country where you may have some of the same problems. But we were constantly freezing. We were always cold. So I spent the money to put in a wood burning stove. It's about $1,200. And now there's an expense of a chainsaw, and you're gonna have to sharpen and buy chainsaw blades, and if you're gonna buy a splitter, that's another expense. But the amount of money I save every month, I basically paid for my equipment within the first year. Now that doesn't include my labor and time in cutting and splitting the wood, and if that's something that's difficult for you to do, it may not be worth it. You may be able to do some work in that same amount of time every month and make $250, and it's not worth going outside and cutting and splitting wood. But the one thing that I like, regardless of the money saving aspect of it, is the heat that you get from wood. There's nothing like it. It keeps you so warm, it like warms you to the bone. It's different than just lukewarm air blowing on you. It doesn't feel good. But that fire, it just feels good. And we can keep it as warm as we want. The other thing is we have a large supply of wood. We have so many hardwood trees here, and it's almost an unlimited supply of wood for us. So if I've got the chainsaw and I've got the time, I can get my hands on wood pretty easily. Other places and other people in other parts of the country, it may be hard to find wood, especially hardwood. You may be in an area where all there is pine, and you're burning soft wood, which can sometimes create more creosote, and it burns faster, and it doesn't burn as long and as hot as the hardwood might, but it still burns, So a lot of this depends on what part of the country you live in, what your situation is, what your home is like. There's new homes that are their heating systems are so efficient, they're insulated so well that it doesn't cost them an extra $50 to $100 a month to heat the home. And it may not be worth chopping and splitting and breaking your back all the time to haul in firewood. But for us out here on the farm, we have so much of it. We have a little bit older place, and we just don't like to run our furnace. It's just wear and tear on it, and I can keep the house nice and warm with this wood. It made sense for me. It may or may not make sense for you. You'll just have to do the numbers and decide if you want to put out the time and the hard work to bring in that beautiful wood. Now that that cool weather is moving in and we are getting ready to start burning some wood in our wood burning stove, we need to go ahead and get it cleaned up from all the burning we did last year. We're gonna go ahead and clean the stove pipe by running this wire brush through it, try to knock off all the creosote that's been built up inside of that pipe. So we're gonna climb up on the roof and try not to fall off and start cleaning the pipe. It doesn't take too long, it's not too difficult. I think the hardest part is I've got 2 levels to climb, so I gotta carry a ladder up the ladder to get up to the next level of the roof. So let's get started. Well, glad that's over with. That's my least favorite part of it, but gotta clean it. Most people heat their homes with what they call a heat pump, which is an electric furnace, or with propane gas or natural gas. So, you know, electricity, as long as you got electricity, you've got heat. As long as that natural gas is running, which is usually a cheap option, it's a good option, but it's usually only an option for people that live in town, you'll have heat. If you have propane, you have heat. But what happens when that snowstorm moves in and you forgot to call to have the propane tank filled, and all of a sudden your propane tank runs out? You call the propane company and they tell you, oh, we can't make it for a week. We're backed up. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna keep your home warm? It's happened to me before. And I'm telling you, just those little fireplace inserts that you have, they don't keep your house warm. They might put off a little heat right there, but they don't keep your house warm like a wood burning stove does. So when that happens, you run the risk of having your pipes freezing up. You're trying to figure out ways to stay warm and keep the house warm. It's not a good feeling. For those that live in town even, or those who live out in the country who are on electricity only and have a heat pump to heat their home, we've also been in situations where a blizzard moves in or an ice storm knocks out the power and you have no power. At that point, how are you heating your home? Those are all things that you have to take into consideration. For me, if I have a wood burning stove, it doesn't matter if I have no propane, I have no electricity. As long as I got wood, I can throw it in the stove and I can heat my home and stay warm and keep my family warm. And that's what I really like about it. So if there's a year where I can't get out and split the wood and the furnace has got to run, so be it. But at least I have that option. I can do it if I need to. And I like that feeling of knowing that I can keep the house and my kids warm if something like that were to happen. That goes a long way for me. Now check this out. I want to show you something really cool that I've got down here. So this right here is a giant piece of fat lighter that we pulled out of the ground a few years ago. And what this is it's the leftover tap root or the stump of a pine tree that has fallen. And once it dies, the resin begins to harden in that tap root or in the stump, and it becomes highly flammable. And this is something that's kind of hard to find. You've really got to dig for it to be able to find it, and especially a piece like this. But this is really cool stuff for starting your fires. If you have a lot of newspaper, and you can obviously start your fires that way, but most people don't get the newspaper anymore. And this stuff is really cool. Let me show you how it works. And all it takes is just a little chip off of this wood, and you can light it and it'll burn for a while. Here's another little small piece. And it doesn't take a very big piece. Look at that, look at how it just lights right up. Look at that black smoke it's putting off. You see that resin catching fire? Really appreciate y'all joining us today. I hope this helps, and I wish you the best of luck with all of your home heating adventures. Take care.